February 21st, 2021. It's President's Day. I'm watching the 11 o'clock news on Channel 4. 4 is spelled with an F, and then the word hour, O-U-R. In Germano Tedesco is via. Italiano is quattro. Je ne sais pas. Un, deux, trois, quatre. Oh, quatre in French, en français. The Channel 4 with the Peacock Network in New York at, I believe this was 11. Yeah. News 4 at 11. All right. It has mentioned, I did not know because, again, I don't watch the sports and the games. It is for a different echelon of whatever. I did notice, don't think that I did not, for the first time ever, there was a mention of the Queen Elizabeth II. They had a mention of her, and then they had a man standing next to her, greeting her out of some vehicle, and he had a version, it looked like, of one of the Olympic gold medals in the center, and then it had first time I've ever even seen that type of adornment visualized or captured on video camera. I do not know what it means. I do not know. I see that that's at their echelon, but I have not seen such things. So where I am. So now on this television, they are speaking of the closing of the Olympics. Team USA played from all the way through. I know that that's important, or it would seem to be important for the team. And I noticed that in the hierarchy of things, Norway won the most medals. These things are important. Then the ROC, or the ROC, not the ROCK, but the ROC is the second spot. And then in last place is Team USA. Just saying.
I declare the 24th Olympic Winter Games Beijing 2022 closed.
I do not know who that gentleman is.
Officially in the books, the Olympic torch has been extinguished, and the next Winter Games, in case you're wondering, are going to be in Italy. But it was
without a label at the bottom. I don't know this gentleman's name either. Without a label teaching at the bottom, it's hard for me to reference. I'm not sure who any of these participants are.
But it was really a productive Olympics for Team USA, earning medals all the way until the final day. And NBC's Liz McLaughlin has a report from Beijing.
The Beijing Winter Olympics ends with an exclamation point for Team USA.
1 second.
Cross-country skier Jessie Diggins fighting for the final medal.
Bronze to Niskanen, just out of the medals.
I was like, I just can't give up. I have to put everything I have into the snow today and finish with nothing left, and maybe I can hold on to a medal, maybe not, but I have to try.
That silver capping off a 25-medal haul for the U.S. over 2 weeks, filled with moments that moved and inspired us. Athletes proving the sky is the limit, and age is just a number, with fierce competition. and the power of a positive attitude, despite missed medals and finish lines.
Even failing multiple times, that doesn't actually make you a failure.
Crying is okay too, after the retiring run to end an era.
I'm leaving behind a whole lifetime in this sport, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of every moment.
A tear-stained 2 weeks in figure skating overshadowed by a doping scandal ended on a lighter note, with gold medalist Nathan Chen flipping out in an exhibition gala, and Vincent Zhou stepping back onto Olympic ice after pandemic protocols forced him out of competition. Another COVID comeback for Alana Myers-Taylor, finally a flag bearer after missing opening ceremony for a cinematic close to her historic career, as Team USA says goodbye to Beijing. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News, Beijing.
And here is the final medal count for you. Norway finishing first with 37, 16 of them gold.
And so there's the lineup, 1 through 5. It reads Norway, ROC, which is the Russian Olympic Committee, Germany, Canada, and then the United States. These are their total over here. And that is the report coming in on here. But I have not been watching, just as I do not watch the national sport or the major league sport. I also hear in my local area, they made mention that baseball has a lockout. I don't know what that means. And they're meeting in New York. That is all I've heard. Now, on the same broadcast, I found it very interesting. For most of my life, the weather report doesn't make the sounds the meteorologists make. It sounds like noise, but I don't connect with it. I don't have a vocabulary for it. But today, they put on the map a fuchsia, magenta, pink. It looks like some cloud, but it has depth to it that's covering over Canada, which I thought was very interesting and unusual. I have never seen the visual display. And then it has us as the lower 48, where I'm a member of, or where I'm currently within. Hang on.
Winds continue to kick up as we head into the evening hours. We'll see temperatures rise too, but we're also going to see some rain coming in our direction.
I don't know this gentleman's name, and it's not displayed on the bottom. But this is interesting for me, the way this is different than the other layers throughout here. And as it goes down through here.
Speaking of temperatures, we look to the north. That's where the cold stuff stays right now. Now we head to the south.
Now where it really looks like it has depth is between here and here. There's some rolling difference, like topography-wise. I think on a land map they have topography differentials, like displayed by rings of sea level. But at atmospheric, it looks like there's a color depth difference for, I don't know what that really means, but that's my interpretation. And then this is the lower 48 from the upper region, which we call Canada, and then the lower 48.
where the warm temperatures are prevailing, close to 80 degrees in Orlando, 71 degrees in Baton Rouge, and we're going to get some of that warm air coming into the tri-state region all the way through the middle of the week. But watch what's coming in our direction as we head to tomorrow night. That's a cold front and a...
So I don't know if that new cloud mentioned, because here they just have, it looks like polka dots or spots of some sort. And they have some over here. They're just like these pixels. I don't know if they're, I mean, I know what I think they might be, but again, but that's the whole thing, the words that the human uses, he being the meteorologist or the human. If I don't have words, I just use the word human. The words that he uses to describe the weather is confusing. I know that not everybody needs a layered weather report, but just for what I've been exposed to in learning, if this is my only source, which thus far it has been, it's hard to follow along with the much needed methane gas with melting ice caps conversation that haven't been a part of. I wouldn't know who to have the conversation with.
And a low pressure system. Still got those winds coming.
Now this is a news station that uses this with 10-day forecast. Some of the other rabbit ear stations, the first ones that when it was analog, and then even when they increased to digital, I still stayed within the same analog theoretical system as best I could for news or current events. This particular station uses a 10-day forecast. Some of the other rabbit stations don't. Now, there's a commercial for a television show that's coming out, which I don't even know. I mean, this is movie or this is TV producer land. I don't know. I wasn't invited into a focus group, a study group, or whatever in my front-facing day label.
And we'll be down by 10, 11, 12 degrees or so. That is a quick look at the forecast.
Not done with that cold just yet. All
Not
right.
quite.
Okay, Dave, thank you so much. Big changes in NBC primetime tonight. First, you got America's Got Talent Extreme,
It's
which premieres
called
at 8
The
o'clock.
End
Then the
Game.
premiere of a new drama you've gotten a little taste of during the Olympics, The End Game. NBC's Mark Barger has a preview.
New York Commerce Bank just got hit by 6 gunmen.
What starts as a series of bank heists in New York City escalates in NBC's new thriller, The Endgame.
I took over 7 banks, but not for money.
I have good motivations. I have a good reason to be doing what I'm doing. I'm maybe not going about it in the most legal way.
Morena Baccarin plays Elena Fedorova, the international arms dealer behind the goings-on.
Fedorova's plan is bigger than the banks. She led you to her. You gave her a lot of credit. I'm not sure you give her enough.
Ryan Michelle Bethea plays FBI agent Val Turner, who's trying to unravel Fedorova's plans.
That she really gets something out of the thrill of the chase, and she's finally matched against someone who is challenging every part of her.
Setting up a cat and mouse game.
You have no idea who you're dealing with. There's the old street fighter.
Where lines between the two women start to blur.
You know, they're obviously on very different sides of the law, but they are strong women, very motivated by keeping the truth alive.
And when that truth is not so obvious,
You actually turned your husband into the FBI and thought you'd be rewarded.
the fun really begins for Bethea and her character.
As Val is like, what is going on? Ryan is a little bit like, what's going on? What's going to happen next?
The start of a twisting journey until the end game is revealed. Mark Barker, NBC News.
And here's a little interesting side note for you. Ryan Michelle Bethay's new show is starting just as her husband's show is winding down. And she's married to Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us fame.
Now, I'm not sure who this that he just mentioned is. Again, I don't follow them being humans. And their stardom in this TV producer land. I do know that the words "This Is Us" comes off of an interesting thing that my son mentioned, Benjamin, about my mom takes lemons and makes lemonade. Verbatim. Now, I don't know when or how this combination started. I don't.
Window 47, working together for you.
Now, this is interesting. The police department is there. They have some language I can't read. I'm not literate in whatever that reads. Now they're saying this is Year of the Tiger. It's being telecast where I am, where there's bobcats in physicality. This is a spiritual tiger. Like effigy or religious reference in spiritual tracking of things, but where I am as a member of state of whatever, the municipality showed there's bobcats present that were let loose or got out somehow just recently. I made a video log reference to it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, a lot of fun here. Music, confetti, colorful floats filled Chinatown on Sunday to celebrate Lunar New Year. Crowds packed the area as the parade returned after the pandemic canceled that large event for the last 2 years. This is the Year of the Tiger, and as you see, Governor Hochul attended the festivities and announced $10 million in assistance for organizations that provide services to Asian American communities that have been impacted by the pandemic. Good to see. We'll be right back.
With help from 84.
Now this was an interesting mention. I don't know what this was in reference to. But then it goes into a piece about a Michigan coach on the basketball court at college level who took a swing at another, and I don't know what the other gentleman's team was. I have no idea what it was about. This is what it looks like from couch potato side of, I didn't know what the pretext was. I didn't know what the coaching session expected. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it changed. I don't know why the aggression's there. I really don't know.
3 degrees. We have winds out of the west-southwest at about 7 miles per hour right now, but changes in the forecast. Some wind,
but I know something
some rain,
in sportsmanship
but even warmer
cares.
temperatures before too long. We'll have the full forecast details minutes away. Back to you.
Sounds good, Dave. Thank you. The Big Ten Conference says it's going to take swift action after Michigan's head basketball.
And Big Ten, I think that's a sports reference. I don't know what is comprised in this word of Big Ten. They mention it. Je ne sais pas. Non so. I don't know. Because where I've been left out of sportsmanship conversation and out of being able to actually be a part of it,
basketball coach took a swing at Wisconsin's assistant coach. This happened right after Michigan lost the game, and you can see Juwan Howard, the former Michigan star, throwing a punch at Joe Krabenhoff. Howard said he was angry about Wisconsin calling 2 timeouts with the game already out of reach at the end.
I didn't like the timeout being called, and I'll be totally honest with you. I thought it was, not necessary at that moment, especially being a large lead. And then for have a timeout to be called with 3 seconds or 4 seconds to go, I thought that was, what I felt wasn't fair to our guys.
And the Big Ten says this incident is under review. They say the league is in contact with both of those college programs, and they're assessing the incident. Well, the UK is expected to lift all COVID restrictions today, just one day after Buckingham Palace announced Queen Elizabeth has tested positive for COVID.
Now, this was interesting in
Scotty,
local
thank you.
news.
This right here is new at 11. Chopper 4 over the scene of a
done to improve subway safety.
He's not seeing well, so then he's like swinging, and he hits me, and then we get off, and I was shook for a minute.
I think they should try it. It's better than just arresting him.
I think rehabilitation is like number one. I think number one is rehabilitation. Definitely, like, they're not like homeless people aren't criminals, They're just people who are less fortunate, and I think rehabilitation is definitely the way to go.
And Adam, other changes are expected as far as subway safety is concerned. Officers will be implementing a code of conduct inside the subway system. For example, no littering, no smoking or sleeping or laying down inside train cars. Reporting live from Chinatown, Gabi Acevedo, News 4, New York.
Okay, we're going to see how this goes, Gabi. Thank you. This right here is new at 11. Chopper 4 over.
Now, what was interesting also is on GMA, again, I don't follow basketball, just like I don't follow football, but I caught, after I did something yesterday with the Shrunken Bible, or what the New York area goes off of. God bless you. It's not a boating Bible by any stretch of the imagination. Or at least not the ones that the whatever, but in whatever, for citations. So the news on GMA, I think it's the GMA 3, which is the game with the 3 instead of the E. It mentions today something about, they called him King James, but they were referring to LeBron James. And I'm like, that's basketball. And that's really dangerous, like Puppet King talk.
That's racist,
When,
Mom.
no, it's not. For a communications project amongst many, many fields and many, many languages and processes, I don't understand how that rumor would get started. I've never heard it before. Today was the first day on the televised whatever. But again, in their private field of sports, I have no idea what's been growing in like microbiota in an auger that I haven't been shown for field of study or for integration or like whatever. I mean, when you go into the microbiotic laboratory at the community college, anyhow, sometimes the augers there, you introduce the microbiota, and then you have to wait, sometimes overnight, sometimes whatever, depending on what the specimen is, for it to grow, to see how it's growing, along those lines.
Mommy.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And the disabled veteran that I saw on the street yesterday who had a disabled veteran photo badge around his neck for vendor purposes. I was assumptive of. He was carrying 3 choices of flags. They just so happened to be my 3 heritage or lineage flags that I was born to between Linda Lou and where my current feet are. The flags were priced 1 for $7, 2 for $12. So I wound up getting 2 for $12 in whatever it was that I displayed yesterday. But it was not showing favoritism to one or the other. It was whatever it is.